Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? I'm going to go into the chat, but there, okay, there I am. Good morning, guys. I'm off site today, so um, yeah, I'm off site. That's all I need to know. So my sister's here putting up the picture where we are, so you might hear some drilling and stuff. Try not to furrow my brow; it makes me look older. Trying to look young. Good morning, guys. Let me know who's here and just share it so that people can see I'm live. I can tell it's algorithms not pushing me out because I'm not really consistent, but we're here. So today we're going to talk about seeds. Good morning, G Mama. Talking about seeds, what we're planting. Um, we're all talking about that in different chats, but just, my take on it. Also, it's quite disturbed to see this week that they had a blueberry recall. If you don't know, you can check out, I don't know that channel name, but it's the Scaredy Cat Gardner. She talks about recalls. She has another channel. I'm not sure if it's the same channel or she changed the name. Don't quote me, but she is the one I saw it from. Then I looked it up. I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize there was a whole thing on blueberries. And I had just bought some wild blueberries, but mine was okay. The barcode didn't match and the expiry date didn't match. But check your blueberries. Pam's point of view. Is that her second channel, or because I'm confused? Because it didn't say Pam's point of view. It said something else. Something conversations. So maybe she changed. Anyways, she probably changed that one. But yeah, Pam's point of view. She has 2 or 3 channels actually, but she will tell you about the recalls. Check your stuff. Even when I buy frozen food, I'm always concerned because of the strawberry recall from 2025 and some other issues that they found in the frozen fruit. So I am always concerned. But man, the blueberries, like, come on. I'm buying them because I'm using them for my overnight oats. I'm just using them regularly. She's got a lot. Yeah, she's got a lot of channels. Good for her. She understands the business of YouTube and social media, which is great, especially someone who's seasoned, like a mature adult, not these young people. It's very inspiring. But she will tell you about the recalls. And trust and believe, keep up to date with your recalls. Keep note of the expiry dates or keep your receipts, whatever it is, because to go and dig out the freezer sometimes to find out if your items are on the list is not so simple. So please check the blueberries. I haven't checked recalls in a minute, so I'm going to go on my phone right now and check current recalls. Let's see what else is on the list. I'm in Canada for those that don't know, so it might be different. So it says here, as of late February 2026, major active recalls including listeria risks in frozen blueberries and various salads. Pops up is another one. Hey, good morning, Genia. Looking. Oh, okay, she has another channel. Okay. Okay, various salads. I didn't know there were salads recall. Salmonella concerns in eggs and dandy pack nuts. Other recalls include juvie stroller strangulation hazards. This is from the Google search. And something with Toyota Honda vehicle safety issues. So the listeria is for US and Canada. The ready-to-eat salads by Inspired Go is only in Canada, BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. And eggs are recalled in Canada, recalled for salmonella. Nuts, D-pack nuts are also salmonella contamination. And there's a Walmart recall. It says here cottage cheese, great value, and Saputo. It doesn't say if it's Canada or US. It just says that. Infant food Gerber. I think I heard about infant food. Arrowroot biscuits. I eat arrowroot cookies even as an adult. So that was my treat because I didn't want to have too much sugar, and my mom as well, to watch our sugar. But arrowroot biscuits are on the recall list, and Gerber food. You guys, we can't trust nothing. Okay, so just be mindful, be careful. The ready to eat salad. Now, blueberry, listeria. I can't remember. I have to confirm. Can I kill listeria by cooking? Yes. Through cooking, thorough cooking kills listeria, monocytogenes bacteria, as they are heat sensitive. So if you're using the blueberries, as I am using it most times to make a blueberry sauce or compote, however you pronounce that word, compote, then you're killing the listeria. That's why I always have to check what is the recall and how it would really affect me. If you're eating things raw and in a smoothie, then that's dangerous. If you're cooking the fruit first, that's why I kind of started cooking things. I mentioned this before, I mentioned it again. I think over 20 years ago. Because I was young. I was a youngin' then. And they had a recall for the Schneiders. I don't know if you guys remember the Schneider scandal. They couldn't find out what the problem was, and it was the equipment. And from them times, you got to cook everything. Anything that's deli and those kind of things, you don't just put them on a sandwich on a bun. You got to saute it first, or put it in the microwave if you use microwaves, or you got to cook it a bit first. And then if you want it to cool, and then slap it on your bread, because you don't know what's going on in them factories. It's quite disgusting. And children and seniors are more susceptible. No, I said that because I've caught. Oh, okay. I know. Okay. Yep. I agree with you. Growing with purpose, because you can't trust, if you can't trust the baby food. And I've heard something else about baby food, but I can't remember. And it didn't pull up. So it must be like a localized thing. But just, it's, even if you don't grow your own food, go to the store and buy some vegetables, cook them down, puree them, however they do baby food, if you want them chunky or more smoothed out, and then put them in the freezer and then warm them up, or pressure can them. We all know how, well, most of us have a pressure can. Don't be going to the store and just buying this stuff. You don't know what they're putting in there. And if the equipment's not clean, I'm concerned because they only name certain areas when they are touching when they're all touching from one distributor. Yep. If there's a recall, there's a recall. Period. Don't worry about that. Even if it says wash, oh yeah, I wash them again. If I can wash something, I'll wash it again. I can't wash. I started washing quinoa too. Some people were laughing at me last year. I'm like, I'm washing the quinoa because there was a recall on the Kirkland, or something to do with Costco, the quinoa, and people are like, I'm not doing all that. Well, if I can wash it, I wash it. I can't wash. What can't I wash? I don't think I can wash oats and cornmeal. That's not really what you can wash, but I don't know. There's something else that people, what was it? Is it quinoa? No, it was something else that's small and grainy. I can't remember. But anything that I try to buy, bulgur now, couscous, I just get a strainer, fine mesh strainer, and I rinse it off. And you better be washing your rice. That's not even. I shouldn't have to hear it, but no wash rice. I made all my grandson's food, which I had the forethought when I had my girls to make. Oh, that's good. But that's what happens. I find people who are grandparents want to do better because they, when you're the parent, it's more difficult. But when you're the grandparent, you can really assist in ways that you wanted to do when you were the parent. So that's good that your grandson had basically homemade food, and it's not hard. Pureed sweet potato, rice, there's broccoli, there's all kind of stuff you can make. You can make the quinoa and smooth it out, or even make it, chia seed. Like, there are lots of things that the kids can eat. You cook the chicken, the beef, and you kind of puree it. There's no reason. Yeah, you better be washing your rice. But there's no need. We got so comfortable with convenience. I don't think everybody's lazy. I don't think many of us are lazy. I think we just got comfortable with convenience. We were raised to just go to the store and pick it up and buy it. That's how it is, especially in certain countries. You come to Canada, that's how it is, and you just fit in with everybody else. But back home, there is no Gerber. There is no people can't afford it, never mind if there was, but it's not there. You have to cook your own food and feed it to your kids. So my parents came here with already that lifestyle. So it wasn't as commercial for them but they still, you get caught up with, you go to the store, you just pick it up. So if people have it as part of their culture, it wouldn't be so prevalent of, oh, let me just go buy this and buy that for the baby. No, you make your own. You make your own yogurt. You make your own cheese. Um, yeah, we're just comfortable. I don't think it's all of us. Some of us are lazy, but I don't think it's I can say across the board we're lazy. I think it's just you got comfortable with convenience. It's something that we all do. And in most cases, it's very affordable to buy some of these. Like I buy baby food as an adult, people laugh at me, as a snack. You know the ones that are in the tubes? If I'm on the road somewhere and I need something to eat and I'm at the grocery store picking up some stuff, I'll go and pick up 2 tubes of baby food, like the sweet potato with apple and banana or whatever, and I'll just take that and I'll eat that because at least I know what's in it. Good morning, Fifi. At least I know what's in it. I'm not ashamed to be old school. I cooked exactly, but we're Caribbean and we live overseas. I don't know if people who are from the northern North American, they do that. I don't know. I know people from the South, yes, they do that, but I'm talking about people who've been here, grow up here, generations. Are they still making their own baby food? I think that ever since that formula shortage or that formula issue that happened during the pandemic, I think baby food is something that people need to keep their eyes on. Make sure that you know how to provide your own food and alternative formula if you can't breastfeed. That's going to be very important. Very important. I don't think we need to forget what happened. Make sure that you know how to make alternative formula because somebody in your community is going to need to know that information. Trust and believe. There are people that I'm seeing who are freezing their excess milk and they're using it for, some of them are even dehydrating it and they have it on file and they're able to sell it to people who cannot produce enough milk. Like it's going back to the olden days when we had, like, I think they called them wet wives. Hold on, is this? Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. My laptop is. I have it in the wall, but it's not. Is it not charging? Is this outlet not working? Hold on. It's saying it's not. Hold on 1 second, guys. It's in the wall, but it's not charging. And it's telling me. Oh, now it's charging. This thing. Is this? What is this? Okay, it was. It almost messed me up. It's saying on the last tick. Okay, I'm back, guys. I was almost on the last tick. And even gardeners want, yeah, but I don't know. I'm just been thinking because that blueberry thing is not no joke. That ain't no joke. A very small percentage of people do. Women don't want to even nurse their babies. I don't. Well, that's strange to me. If you got a healthy body, you're not on any medication or anything like that, you should be nursing your baby. That's what God created. Every animal, every mammal feeds their young their own milk. We are the only ones that go out and create these synthetic powders and add water to it, or we give the newborns other milk. I found a story online. It's not funny that she gave her child cow's milk, but the context is that, and she's in jail. She's still in jail for it. Jail for how many? Over 20 years, and she has other children. And she had the baby during Katrina, and they had to relocate. What happened in Katrina. There was nothing, and there was no formula. The formula ran out. And this happened, that happened, and all kind of stuff was going on. And she had no other food to feed the baby. I guess she wasn't producing milk because she wasn't eating properly because they're going through Katrina, and they were in the stadium at one point, and I guess they expected her to come back to the hospital, or I don't know what happened, but she got convicted, her and her husband, of negligence, as you cannot give your newborn cow's milk. Anyways, I don't know what happened. She did her time, but they won't give her parole. They won't give her kids wrote a letter to the court. I think, anyways, I think she did her time. I think she did her time. She learned her lesson, even though the circumstances were not ideal. She did her time, but they won't let her out. I don't know. Sidebar, but don't give your child cow's milk. Good morning, Cece. But I didn't grow that much indoors this season. I took a break, and I had to take a break between my outdoor and indoor to make sure there's no bugs in the house. Then you just get busy, and then you just have to kind of sometimes revamp. Sometimes you have to stop growing as a gardener if you're not in an ideal zone. That is, if you're in an ideal zone, don't stop. But people like me, sometimes you need a break because it takes so much intention. As Gigi says, purpose, so much mind strength to continue growing when the outdoors is full of snow. And sometimes you just can't juggle it all. So this winter, I was doing an indoor garden, didn't do it. Then I was going to do the WIG. I started in January, and now I'm just like, I'm doing it as a spring start. I'm not doing it as WIG because it was so delayed. But I realized, and I said this before, I need to revamp my growing system and make some things more automated because that's part of the problem. If something now hydroponics is pretty automated, like you can't get any more automated than that. But sometimes you're just tired, you're fatigued. And what am I growing in the hydroponics? I don't do seed starting in the hydroponics because for me, where am I planting them to? If I can't put them outside, it doesn't make no sense. And it's not outdoor gardening in my zone in the winter. It has to be everything is grown indoors and stays indoors. I can up pot it to a pot, but that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. To a pot, but I need things that can grow to full size or dwarf size in the hydroponic unit. And I was just kind of tired of troubleshooting. But I found the toy bok choys are good, and the coloration is fantastic. They didn't change color, so I've got the right level of feed now, which is also a struggle. The distilled water is working well. The lighting setting I changed to is working well. And all I'm going to do now is resanitize my deep water culture, the 2 units, and I'm going to grow the full size bok choy. I think for me, indoor gardening is just strictly lettuce and bok choy. Spinach does not do nothing for me in the hydroponics. It won't even germinate. It will not germinate. I tried to germinate eggplant. I had to take it out the unit last week, wash the sponges, and I put bok choy in there, and all 4 bok choy have germinated in less than a week. So eggplant don't seem to like the hydroponics. I put those seeds in a Ziploc bag on top of the hydro with heat. They still haven't germinated. I started new eggplant seeds in soil in seed cups on a heat mat, and I'm still waiting for them to germinate. The Lacia peppers, which took me a long time last year, have germinated, and I just planted some sangria peppers, and they have germinated. And the eggplant hasn't germinated. And the one thing I want indoors is eggplant. So once I get something to germinate, I'm going to plant 2 eggplants in my house in soil, indoor soil that has been sanitized. We know the story about last week. There's no more gnats. We're not doing that. And I'm going to have 2 eggplants in the house because it takes too long to get them germinated, too long to get them going. They can't be germinated in hydroponics unless someone has a trick to tell me the trick, because nothing is working. Maybe the water has to be warmed up. It doesn't work. So eggplant is a good meal for me to have in the wintertime when you want to have a plant-based meal. So I need no gnats. We're not doing that. Because they tried to come in my house. I said, nope, you're not coming in here. So I'm trying to figure that out. But the eggplant, I'm going to have to transplant. I have not gotten them to germinate. I even got some Scotch bonnets that germinated this week. I'm planting the new mushroom pepper from MI Gardner. It's a Jamaican mushroom pepper. I think it's a cousin of the Scotch bonnet, but they germinated. But these eggplants, they're starting to get me upset right now. Starting to get upset. So pick the right crops to grow. Pick the right crops to grow. I think most of us are been gardening for a while, fairly new to mid. We're not experts maybe, but we're mid. Pick the right crops for the right zone and the right type of growing. Hydroponics is great for seed starting. It is. But It depends when you're going to transplant it. Because if you're going to transplant it weeks from when you're starting it, you may be better off doing it in the seed cup, because they grow very fast in hydroponics. And if it's growing faster than your timeline to transplant it out, you may be messing up your schedule, or just plant them later. Yeah, I'm starting to break down my hydroponics, getting ready for it. Yeah, I'm not going to break it down yet because my last frost date is May 19th. So they say. So I'm going to be growing bok choy in the house and some lettuce until May, beginning of May. Then I'll break it down and sanitize them, because last year I didn't do it right away and it messed me up. Catch up with the chat here. My habananas have finally germinated and I've sown half the pat. This is ridiculous. Some of these seeds, I haven't experienced problems germinating eggplants. You guys gotta tell me what to do, because this is ridiculous. It's on a heat mat. Maybe it just takes a while to germinate eggplant. Maybe that's just what it is. Maybe my seeds are old. So maybe I'm gonna buy a new pack of seeds. It could be that pack of seeds is oldish, but I used them last year and I harvested seeds. No, I harvested seeds from the mini eggplant. I'm gonna try one more pack of seeds. I'm gonna buy another pack of seeds and I'll try them this week because I'm getting fed up. But my Lacia peppers, which I use the seeds that I harvested, they germinated, which is great. So they're doing well. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Maybe my seeds are just bad, because this is ridiculous. If the Scotch bonnets are germinating, maybe my eggplant's bad. But once I get them going, guys, I'm leaving 2 plants in the house. I'm going to have them in the house because I need to have certain foods in the wintertime that I can just harvest from. Bok choy is a quick turnaround, and I can even grow radishes in the house. This year, I'm going to grow for the first time the watermelon radish. Oh, let me drop the link too if someone wants to come up. The watermelon radish. I'm going to direct sow those, and I'm going to see how they go. And I can grow them indoors because I know people grow them in hydroponics. It's a bit challenging, but they do well in hydroponics. I tried them the first year, but I had too many things planting and too many things to monitor that it wasn't, no problem, Gina. It didn't work for me. So what seeds have you bought this season? Because I know some of you have been going overboard. I said I'm not buying any seeds, and I haven't. I'm going to use what I have. And there are several seeds that I looked at that are never been opened. They're brand new packs of seeds that I haven't even planted yet. So I'm shopping from my supplies. But what did you guys buy, or what are you planting new this year that you didn't plant? For me, it's going to be the watermelon radish and basically all the radishes. I've been planting radishes and I haven't really been that great. My soil probably needs to be amended thoroughly before I drop the seeds or transplant them. And last year, my beets didn't do well. I've never had a problem with beets, but this year, I'm going to grow the Chioggia beets for the first time and the sugar beets. I like root crops because it gives me 2 for 1, the leaves and then the root bulb. So for me, I think it makes sense if you have a small garden and you're in a shorter growing season. These 2 for 1 crops are great. And I'm going to grow a couple of new mustards. I like when I see Cece's garden. She has all these mustards and stuff. Just fills the beds, and they're so abundant. And I find that they're easier to grow for me. Let me see. G Mama's growing those radishes this season too, and hopefully they're delicious. I like the kick of a radishes, horse radishes, that kind of wasabi. Oh, you're growing tons of flowers? Speaking of which, I am gonna plant flowers this year. I wouldn't know about tons, but I am gonna plant some flowers this year. Last year, I did not grow enough. I did do the milk jug method, but I guess it didn't really take. It took the year before, and I was just so busy. I'm gonna grow them indoors in my seed trays, and I'll do the milk jug method. I don't want to buy flowers because that throws my budget off for my seed starts. I want to buy starts that are going to be food related. Good morning, good eats. I don't want to spend money on too many, like marigolds here and there, yeah, but I don't want to spend money on too many flowers. I'm going to grow them from seed. Oh, your fava beans. I think my sister bought the start last year, but it didn't take. Purple fava beans and a couple of, I've heard a lot about fava beans. Is that the one that they also use to fix the nitrogen? Something it does for the soil. I can't remember. It does something. And I'm gonna grow some more of the purple cauliflower. Purple. Mine did well last year. It did so well. It looks so beautiful. Didn't take a picture. Didn't do a reel. Forgot. Harvested it way too late. It started to open up. My problem is harvesting. Pray for me. Pray for me. This year, I'm gonna harvest my food on time and eat it. This is my problem. I'm gonna grow more of the same thing so that I can just enjoy eating those simple things. I was all over the place, even though I was more tailored. I was still all over the place. I'm gonna focus on the mustards, the bok choys, the choy sum. And last week I mentioned the green. I couldn't remember the green for the life of me. I remembered it now. We talked about tatsoi. If you don't have tatsoi, I would recommend growing tatsoi. Renaissance Grandma mentioned it, and it's a nice green. It looks like a bok choy. I don't know why they call it a mustard on my seed pack. But the other one, which is Chiji Misai. Renaissance recommended that one. That's a lovely green and lovely, nice to do Asian stir fries. If you don't have Chiji Masai and the Choi Sum, get them. They're easy to grow, super easy to grow. Has a different texture than the regular bok choy. My sister hates bok choy; she finds them too watery. But the tatsoi and the Chiji Masai are not so watery when you cook them, so she likes those ones better. But I like them all. I don't care, but she doesn't like bok choy. Um, if you don't have those two plants, please chichibisai and tatsoi, get them. They're excellent. I decided to grow a dedicated pot of edible flowers. I've been enjoying plenty of petals lately. Well, that's good. So you're talking about nasturtiums and calendula as well as other things. What else can you eat? Can you eat petunias? I think you can eat petunias, right? And I think somebody send me the blue, what's that blue flower everyone's growing for tea? Blue something or other. Somebody here will know what it is. Somebody sent me the seeds. I haven't planted them as yet, but and I'm gonna grow borage. I had a pot last year. It didn't take. I know David Corey recommended that for me from a long time. This year I'm gonna grow borage because I think that's also edible. That's it. Blue butterfly pea. Thank you. Blue butterfly pea. But some of y'all said it didn't always produce, so I don't know. I am gonna grow the borage because that you can use the flower, the leaves. I'm gonna grow some borage this year. This week actually, I'm gonna try to every week grow a certain amount of start them from seed so I have time, and I can always give seedlings away and thin them out. But I'm not really gonna. I'm gonna give them away and see. Oh, it's prolific. I'm gonna try. Oh, I'll hope to try it this year. We'll see. I do have all my mints, so hopefully they are okay in the garage. I can't get to them right now because of all the recycling boxes. So I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna prune the fig trees down for cuttings. So hopefully it's a good time. The rabbit decided to go and chew down my blueberry bushes. That was bad enough. I did not realize that rabbits like so much sticks. I didn't know that like sticks that are on plants that we're growing for ourselves. I didn't realize they were so diabolical. The snow was so high that they could reach down up to my peach trees. And I saw, footprints, urine stains, and droppings. That's your red flag. When you see those things there, watch where they're going. Chewed down two stems off of my good morning, Tasharia, off of my peach tree. So I had to shovel the snow all around the peach tree, wrap the trees with tarp. Then my sister, who doesn't grow food, said to me, "You don't know you're supposed to wrap your plants, wrap your trees with burlap?" I said, "Listen, you little." It's always the people who don't grow food telling you what you're supposed to be doing, and they're right half the time too, which makes me more upset. I don't have to wrap the tree. I didn't know they were gonna chew down the blueberry bush has been there for longer than it should be, 2 seasons, and it didn't up pot it yet. I didn't know they were gonna chew it down like it's like flossing sticks. This I did not know they I did not know. I knew, but I didn't know. They like wood. Do not leave anything on the ground that they can reach during the winter months. Because when the snow goes higher and higher, it's just like a bridge. They just walk across the bridge over troubled water. Good morning, can't stop. Let me see here. Bee balm is one of my favorites once it gets over powdery. Yeah, I did find that the first year. It didn't come back though. I let the seeds drop in the pot. It didn't come back. So I'm gonna have to start the bee balm. As I mentioned last week, I'm gonna do bee balm. I did not know they like wood. They chewed up. So I'm probably gonna have to repurchase those blueberry bushes. The peach trees are okay. But note to self, I'm gonna move those trees or I'm going to wrap them with some burlap to make it more difficult. I did not know they were so vicious. Like they're literally like beavers, land beavers. They chewed, and I'm seeing all these sticks. What's all these sticks everywhere? I have to go and find things in the wintertime to cover the plants. And it's winter, and some of the grow bags are frozen, so I have to find one that wasn't frozen and put it upside down over the blueberry bushes. And I'm like, make me sick. Make me sick. Those were like white raspberries, special pink lemonade. These are some special. Anyways, they're all gone. So this year I'm gonna have to rebuy. Some of them is my fault because they were dying. I didn't up pot them in the first place. But the rest of them is that damn rabbit. And every night I go there with my flashlight, I'm shining. I see him in the bushes running, looking at me. And no, to him. It's not a woman. It's a him. Walking around my land beavers. I hate them. They were cute, but now I realize. And I was blaming the groundhog for everything, but I think it's the rabbit too. Between the groundhog and the rabbit, they will chew down an entire pot of greens, and you'll come back to just the bottom and have to wait for them to regrow if they didn't chew it down all the way to the bottom. My Swiss chard was gone. The mustard greens, I don't like that much. The spinach and lettuce, gone. Lettuce, gone. Just chew it all the way down. So it's beneficial. Whatever you grow extra, as we know. But in my case, extra on top of the extra. These animals, once they know that you're growing food, tell their neighbors, their friends, their side chicks, baby mamas, everybody is coming to your yard. And in the wintertime, you can see all the footprints. So I can see the raccoon print. I can see the rabbit prints. I can see the cat prints. Yeah, I'm a tracker now. The cats, I can tell the squirrel prints different from the other. You can tell all the different, the mice prints and then the rat prints and even the bird prints when they're hopping on it. Every kind of prints at nighttime. So they're coming in and my camera keeps going off at night and giving me alerts that there's somebody in the backyard. But when you look on the thumbnail, there's nobody there. Oh, there's something there. All right. I just can't zoom in to catch what it's trying to show me, but it's showing me something on the camera because 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and as soon as the sun starts to kind of rise at 6:30ish, nothing, no camera activity anymore. So now's the time to drop seeds. I dropped my pepper seeds earlier this year because usually I drop them in March. So I mentioned I dropped them a couple weeks ago and they're coming up because the hot peppers and the bell peppers too. I'm going to drop the bell peppers this week, about 2 weeks earlier than usual, because it takes so long for them to take off. And I'm following the schedule, which already gives a good long enough time to allow them to take off. But if you're not having a warm spring and it's very, very cool, and then it all of a sudden jumps to summer, the peppers don't have enough time to take off before the heat, because in the heat is when you want them to be flowering and producing their fruits. You want the growing to have kind of already happened in my zone anyways. I'm talking about my zone, so that when June, July happens, they're taking off. If they're still growing, they take off later, which means you're not harvesting early. Like you're not getting a good harvest. So I did my hot peppers early. My bell peppers I'm gonna do this week, and I'll do a second batch of bell peppers in the end of March, probably the California Wonder. But I heard of another variety of peppers from somebody that I was watching this morning. That's cold climate. I forgot what it was called. I have to jot it down. A Canadian gardener that I found in my province, probably in my same city in terms of the GTA area. And she mentioned the bell pepper. So I'm going to be trying, if I can find those seeds. I have Jamaican sweet peppers and I have the regular California Wonder and I have the other one that we all grow from like Dollar Tree or something. I'm going to be growing those ones. The Lacia peppers all took off. So I have several planted this year and I have some extras to give away. So I can give one to my gardening cousin and two cousins I have each side of the family. They're into gardening, so I always give them any new plants that I'm growing, and they're gonna get the orange cayenne pepper. I'm gonna give them. I planted for them already to give them one, and they know keep the seeds. Once you keep your own seeds, we're you have what you need. So I'm gonna give her that, and I'm gonna give them the Jamaican mushroom pepper. I don't know how hot it is if it's compared to the Scotch bonnet, but they're gonna have that. But peppers blooming and oh, so yours are already blooming. See, Texas, but then the Texas heat is not good for other crops. So either way, I think oh, there you come from the bushes. I think that's what it is. Sam, King of the North. And I should remember that name because that's the name of the auction I shop at in the north. Um yeah, I didn't plant the bell peppers yet, but my Lacia, well, Lacia's a bell pepper, so I guess I could say yes. It already germinated on a heating mat. The heating mat and the dome made a huge difference. The soil's at a warm enough temperature, but the eggplant, that's why I'm like, what is going on? So I'm gonna pick up some seasoned eggplant at the orange store. I'm gonna go there today. I have to go there. What I'm also doing is I'm watering most of my plants with distilled water. If I add fertilizer to the water, yes, I do that as well. But right now, they don't have true leaves, so I don't really fertilize just yet. Oh, it's real hot, like the Scotch, probably like the Scotch bonnet. I got mine from MI Gardener. I don't know where you got yours from, but yeah, I'm growing them. I got Scotch bonnets, well, chocolate habanero and Scotch is there, but I'm growing that one. I want to see the difference. I want to see how prolific it is. Hopefully, it's very prolific, and yeah, I'm giving them seedlings, and hopefully they like that. But what I'm also doing is distilled water. I do have tap water that I sit in a jug and I let evaporate. So I tried that this morning, but I'm trying to be um, make sure that the water has evaporated or it's distilled. I do have a distiller, but it can't keep up with what I'm doing right now in growing season. It's too much. So I'm probably going to buy the 5-gallon jug of distilled water. For me, it's helping me be more precise. You don't have to do it because remember, we're all in different areas. Maybe your water is well water or you have a cleaner source of water. I know my tap water is not, I wouldn't drink. I don't drink it. I don't even use it for hot tea. I'll boil it to use for certain things, but I will use spring water and boil that or distilled water because the water has been getting worse and worse. We're not going to go back into that, but I don't trust it with a 10-foot pool. I don't even trust it to bathe and have a filter on my shower. So I definitely have seen some challenges in my seed starting history. And I'm realizing a lot of it is not my fault. A lot of it is the water that I'm using is sabotaging me. The seed starting mix is the same one as last year, the Pro Mix. I'm just sticking to that because I bought a big compressed bag from Costco last year. I bought 2 bags actually. So I'm not changing my seed starting mix for a while because I'm not going to repurchase stuff. What I am going to do next year or even during the summer months, I'm going to have to sift it out. There's too many sticks in these seed starting mixes. I think everybody has the same problem. But the price was so good. The price was so good and it already has things in it. So what I'm going to do is I have to amend all my containers. I don't have to, but I'm going to do it just to make sure And as soon as the weather gets warm enough where I can work with the soil and it's not frozen, I'm going to mix all of the containers. I have 3 compost bins full of compost and chicken manure. I have chicken manure in the beds during the wintertime. I just throw them in the beds because I had nowhere to put it. So there's piles of manure just in these random beds with crops that are still in them that are just now rotten. I'm going to chop up those crops, bury them with the manure, and then just put some topsoil down. I'm going to mix all my pots and containers. Just going to dump it out into a big barrel or a big bucket and just amend them and then refill them and start from scratch. And I'm going to mix some of that Pro Mix in the containers that are the ones that are like more for lettuce and stuff that doesn't have as much drainage, something more fluffy. I'm going to mix that Pro Mix into those ones to see how they perform with leafy greens. And if it performs well, I'm going to use that as a amendment / topsoil / because I have chicken salad. I don't need to worry about. I was going to buy worm castings to mix with the seed starting. I might do that. I don't think I need to with the Pro Mix because it has enough to get the plant going before you start to fertilize. But what I'm going to do is that damn neem cake because these gnats are out of control. I went to go buy something on Amazon last week, the zapper, but then when I read the reviews, it had bad reviews. So I'm still looking for a zapper. I've been getting a couple of more lights. So I redid my light station, my seed starting. I'm going to take a picture and post on Instagram. I'm going to post it on Instagram. Maybe I'll do a video. We'll see. Now's the time to get soil ready. Yes. So get your, I can't do it outside just yet. Sorry. Probably end of March. I'm just going to put on the boots and go and start mixing the beds. I have a brand new bed that's up top of the hill on my upper level. That's just there. It hasn't been filled yet. Once it gets warm enough, I'm going to put some cardboard underneath it and just fill it with chicken salad and then put a bag of topsoil on top. No for nothing, just leave it. That bed's going to be fine. And I have to build 2 covers for those other 2 beds. The snow smashed the top of the other 3 covers. I have to restaple the mesh. But now that I know that Mr. Rabbit is in the garden regular, even in the wintertime, every bed has to have a cover on top. Every single bed, every single tree has to have some kind of mesh around the pot so that they can't get up to the actual bark. Everything's going to be wrapped with something in the spring so that's already done for 2026 winter. We ain't wait until the fall. I'm going to wrap everything up in the spring. We done. Put hardwire mesh around the pots. I can water them through the hardwire mesh. I can fertilize it. I don't have to be, that's what we're doing because these rabbits, these squirrels, and these groundhogs are destroying my garden. Neem cake and neem seed meal are the same. If you see that, okay, powder versus pellets. Thank you. I'm going to do that because I'm not changing my seed starting mix. The Pro Mix has been fine. Yes, it has anything with sticks has nature in it, which means there's some kind of bug going to be in there. I don't care what they say. It's sterilized. It's this. They're lying. If there's sticks in your seed starting mix, you're going to find some bugs in there. There's organic matter in there hiding, and they can't destroy everything. And they probably didn't cook it long enough for it to be killed, and then before they bagged it up and compressed it. So get the neem cake. I've been doing this long enough, and even if you boil your soil with hot water, which I do, I boil it with hot water, you still get bugs. I'm going to try, and let me know, G Mama, if you try this, not using hot water and just putting the neem meal and mixing it in and just watering with the mosquito bits and forgetting all that hot water because that is a whole other step that maybe I can eliminate. Because if you have so many steps to start the seeds, you're not going to really enjoy it. And that's what I was finding, which is probably why I didn't grow indoors. I was just tired of being in soil, planting, harvesting, canning, dehydrating. Sometimes you need a break. But what I can say is the preservation is more important to me right now than planting a million different things. I only plant 50 things versus 150, but it's the same thing, and I'm using them regularly fresh and I'm preserving them. That's more important to me. I made pasta last night with sauce that I made with farm grass fed beef and the cheese I bought and the pasta I bought. The meat I bought, but it was from a farm. So pretty much everything on the plate was almost farm fresh. I control the sugar and the sodium in that. It was it didn't taste it didn't taste like it was canned. It tasted like it was fresh tomatoes. It had a fresh taste to it because of the type of tomatoes as well too, because you don't get those kind of tomatoes unless you buy them at specialty stores. And that's that. That's what I'm working on. If you guys didn't watch Fifi's last video, she canned beans. I canned beans for the first time because I went to the Amish market last summer. So I got a whole bushel of Romano beans. They didn't call them Romano, but to me they look like Romano beans. So I canned them. But I haven't used them yet. So she canned pretty much every kind of bean. And I do use chickpeas to make curry chickpeas. And I make hummus with the can. So I'm going to start canning them. Dried chickpeas are so cheap. That works great. You're keeping. Right. Keep the microbes active, but then kill the gnats. So what did I also get to upgrade my seed starting station? If you have hydroponics, they already are on a timer. So they're pretty easy. Just plugging them in, but my power is it cuts out for no reason. So those are good to start seeds. But don't start things that are already fast growers in a hydroponic. It's going to grow that much faster. I find that hydroponics accelerates the growth. So you don't have to start the plants as early. Like really time it, but you're going to have to test it out for yourself. So if you don't have outdoor temperature that you can transplant in, you might end up, oh, you're getting too much commercials? Oh, I'm sorry. I put regular. I didn't put, you see, I guess they want to make their money. Sorry. So don't plant things too early in hydroponics because again, it accelerates the growth, but it's an excellent tool. I think that I like doing my seeds in the trays because I can fit either 21 plants per tray in the two and a half inch cups, and I don't have to up pot them because I don't like up potting. I don't like doing these teeny tiny seed things and then I have to keep up potting. That will make, I know people show them on their YouTube channel and I don't think they work a 9 to 5 job. That's probably what it is. They're either retired or they're a full-time homemaker because ain't nobody coming home from work and constantly up potting. So to me, that's not a realistic demonstration of gardening. If I was retired and was a full-time homemaker, I still wouldn't be doing that. Who has time to be handling a plant? Like, I've worked in logistics for long enough. I don't want to be handling something multiple times. The more you touch it, the more money it's costing you. That's kind of the viewpoint I have. So the more times I have to handle it is the more time it's costing me money. You want it to be able to plant once. I have been up potting. That's like, yeah, I don't like that. So I would rather do like, I'm trying to get the bootstrap farmer trays, but they're sold out at my local online supplier. And his trays can hold 32 plants per tray. And it tells you. And those are 2.5 inch cups as well, squares. So they're fit very well. And then you just water from the bottom. So 32 plants per tray. I can fit about 3 trays per shelf, and I have 4 shelves. So you do the math. 4 times 32, and then that number times 4. Right now, I can fit 21 plants per tray with the cups that I have. And if I don't have enough room, I can always put the 2 trays on the floor with those last minute lights that I just bought, to go on the floor. Why am I up potting? How many more plants do I need besides that? And if I transplant the plants outside, like I told you guys last week, lettuce, spinach, mustard greens, all your brassicas and bok choys can handle a cooler weather. That means by Easter in my zone, I can plant them outside. That means I can start new plants at that point. Why am I up potting? Does anybody here really like up potting? Do you like that part of seed starting? Because for me, it's a hell to the no. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. You know what you're planting? Tomatoes and eggplants and any beans and squashes need a larger size cup or larger size. If I'm not putting in that cup from the get go, and there ain't no 2 and 3 seeds in those cups, it's one seed. If you don't germinate in the timeline, starting a new seed. Why am I thinning out when I know they're going to live? How many people have done tomatoes and beans and those plants and you didn't get 100% germination? I've never had tomato seed that hasn't germinated in my life. I've never had a tomato that has not germinated the seed. I have a tomato in my pantry right now, and there's a plant growing out of the tomato. I saw a hole and a seedling just pushing out, growing out of the tomato. But the one thing I said this year, no anonymous plants. I labeled everyone with the name of the plant because that happens every year. That's what I'm saying. We know they get big, so put them in the big pot from the get-go and let them grow. I ain't dropping 2 seeds per pot. I think it was Bayou. I'm like, no. She's gonna put 2 cucumbers. I said, no. I've never seen a cucumber seed not germinate yet, ever in my life. And I haven't been gardening that long, and I can only imagine. They all germinate. They're just very prolific. You don't have to double, triple it up. Just give the plant what it needs in the right size. I am not up potting. Not doing it. We have too much work to do to fight these bugs and to fight these animals for me to be up potting. I'd rather start another tray and just start another tray. That's why the grow shelf, if you don't have a grow shelf, or if you have one, the 4 racks I see at the orange store, the blue store, I see the metal shelves as well at Costco or get the shelves, especially the 4 shelf one and the ones that are wider, because you can fit. Some people put their trays like long way in front of them. I put them short way, because if you have enough lights on the rack, yes, the front and the back may be a little dim, but the plant will lit. It'll just lean towards the light, and you just keep turning that one cup around so that keeps going straight. You can fit 3, depending on how wide your shelf is, 3 to 5 trays per shelf, and then you go vertical. You have your lights on everything, zip tie them in. You plug them all into one power bar. The best invention was the power bar with the built-in timer. I just got one. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'll say it again. I don't have to get up at 6 to turn on no lights or they're all on the timer. The lights go on at 6 a.m. and they turn off at 8 p.m. So I'm going to buy another one. If you don't have a power bar that has the built-in timer component into it, and the one that I have, if the power goes out, it'll still remember the schedule. It'll just pick it back up. That's what you need. So all I'm going to do now is I'm looking for some fans to clip onto the shelves that are not too, because some of them are really pricey, to run the fans, because you need a fan. That's what makes the plants more robust and resilient. It helps promote root growth because they have to, fight against the wind. Good morning, Unique. Too big. Not too big. I don't go bigger than 3 inches. I don't have those big pots. I don't have those big ones. I'm talking about seed cups, not pots. But yeah, I don't go bigger than 3 inches. I don't think you need anything too big. And if you're planting too early, that's again the problem. You got to time when you're going to put them outside and how long you need them inside to get to a good size before you transplant, because I am not up potting. If I do, it's probably to stay inside. As I said, I want to plant some things in the 3-gallon pots in the house, but I'm not up potting. I got to water, I got to fertilize, I got to fight the gnats. I got to make sure there's no powdery mildew. I got to make sure that I'm not overwatering. I got to make sure there's no dampening off. I got to watch the hydroponics. I got to change their water. I got to clean those. Like, that's just plants. Speak for yourself. Oh no, we ain't up potting. We ain't up potting. We are not. If I have to up pot that plant, as I said to you, in my mind, it's costing me more money. The more that I have to handle something, that's more labor. That means that one plant that, oh, I'm saving so much money. I save money, but did I save any of my time? If I have a flu or a cold, God forbid, and I can't get out my bed that day, are the plants going to suffer? If the answer is yes, the plants are going to suffer for that one day, then I'm too involved. I'm too tied to the plant survival. Things need to be on autopilot. That's why I am the hands-off gardener. I don't want to be my hands in it every day. If I miss looking at them for 2 days, they should be fine. They should have enough bottom watering. They should have enough airflow, circulation, moisture. Like, that's it. If I have to be with them every day, like today, I'm not at home. I'm off site. My chickens have water. They have straw. I gave them their food and I left. And even that, my chickens are going to be on, I'm looking to get the automatic feeder because I'm looking to be automated. If I decide I don't want to look at you for 2 days, you should be able to survive on your own. I almost left the chickens today without any food. I forgot. I was like, okay, I'm locking up. I'm like, oh, I didn't feed them yet. Oops. Had to go get the food, feed them. I want an automatic feeder. So I'm looking around for the auction. That's where I am right now. I don't want to be tied down. So maybe that's my mindset so that you're hearing it. I like gardening. I like growing my food. I like watching seeds germinate. There's nothing more happy when you see the seed just pop through the soil. Like, oh my God, you made it. You're yeah. But we're too hands-on. God forbid something happens in your friend group or whatever, and you have to go and take care of that. First of all, I've experienced that most people don't want to watch your stuff for you. They'll say that you can call them and ask them to watch your animals and your whatever, but really and truly, they're not so willing to watch your stuff for you. They're not going to come over and water your 15 trays of plants. Trust and believe. They're not coming over to turn on the lights, turn off the lights, turn off the fans, turn on the fans. And they're not doing, they'll come over and they'll maybe water. If you tell them how much water to put in each tray, and it already better be fertilized water in the jugs, because they're not mixing fertilizer for you. They're not coming to go and watch. They'll collect the eggs for you, but they're not coming to, and they'll put water in the thing, but they're not coming to do all that for you and mix your feed the way you want the feed with sunflower seeds and this and that. They're not doing none of that. You have to have that already done, and they'll top them up. So I realized, oh, I'm kind of stuck here. I'm imprisoned by my garden and my livestock. Kind of, sort of. It's a nice prison, but I'm in prison because if I'm going with the 1 and 2 people that I can trust to watch and we're all going together, I ain't got no one to watch my stuff for me. And I realize, yeah, this is not really working. This is not really working. That's why I've transitioned the majority of my house plants into self. Yes, exactly. I'm spending the money and making things more because I'm telling you, if I need to leave, at least I can top everything up before I leave. I can ask someone to watch a bit, but I know they're not going to really watch. And when I come back, things are not dead. So for me, irrigations or some kind of sprinkler system is going to have to be implemented this year, hopefully this year. I do plant deep like Planter Garden recommends, and I do all that stuff, but sometimes you need a little bit more because the dryness and the short growing season and you need a little more in my zone. So I need to have irrigation because, again, they're not going to come and climb up with water in buckets because the hose can't reach. They're not doing none of that for you. They're not. So the sooner we kind of realize that, I think we're going to liberate ourselves because we're not going to be so tied to our own garden. Yes, my mama won't even pee on my garden when I go out of town. I'm telling you, they're not going to do it. And you do want your garden, but you do want to be able to go on a weekend here. I know who I'm talking. Cece's always gone over here to see her bestie. She's gone to see Drell. She gone to go meet what she gonna meet now? She gonna meet Jay Jordan. She gone for go meet all over Salon Diva and Sunshine, and she gone over here and she gone. Cece's always gone somewhere. So she would know she gone up and down. She gone to go see Liddy B. Her they went somewhere one time and gone to go see some show, and she gone over. If you want a good time, I guess it's Cece that you have to call. She'll go with you. I'm a very hands-on gardener, but hands-on gardener, but my garden has always been small. I will probably have to adopt a less hands-on approach now that I have more space. Yes, I make things automated. You're still going to be in the garden checking every day, but you don't have to water. If you have some kind of irrigation DIY, there's some DIY ideas that I see that are very workable. That's what I'm going to have to implement, because I can tell you from the last 2 seasons, I've admitted to the community that watering was a burden. Watering was difficult, not because you have so many things to do outside, by the outside of the house, but by the time you get home to go do the watering, if it's too late, you're being eaten by mosquitoes. So there was all other things that were like, oh my god, it just became like, this burden. And then I was watering almost every day. And then these grow bags, which are great for air pruning, these grow bags need to be watered like sometimes twice a day. They don't hold moisture. So I had to mix it with soil that would hold moisture more. It like the more you start to do things and use the materials that they recommend, and you say, this doesn't really work for me. That works for maybe the spring and the fall, but in the heat of summer, grow bags dry out. So you're gonna have to mix it with different amendments. You're gonna have to have like the oyas that can drip into the grow bags, so that you don't have to be like starting from ground zero. When a grow bag dries out completely, you have to wet it. The water keeps running out, running out, running out, because it's hydrophobic now. Then you gotta. I'm just like every day. No, no. I got an irrigation kit for the new place. I had one. Yes, I have never had irrigation, but I'm gonna get it. I recommend it. I think most of us, I'm of a particular age, and we're all grown and we're all aging, and you don't want to have your garden not set up for the next stages. And stages are not just mobility. Sometimes you're just damn tired. You're just tired. You have a million and one things to do, and you need to have some things automated. It's almost as if, maybe for me, like you had this pressure of doing things the way that it was done before. They never had these things and they did it. Yeah, but it's a different time we're in now. We have a lot more being thrown at us, a lot more juggling. It's a very faster pace of life, I find, than my parents had. And I need to have irrigation. Yeah, I need sprinklers. I need shade cloths. I need, other things that they didn't use, because it makes my gardening experience easier. And my dad and I were talking, and he was like, no, don't do it this way, do it that way, do it like I was trying to bring in all these new changes, and he didn't. It was like, he wasn't used to that. But then he realized how much more productive his garden, like, well, my garden now, I call it mine. It's my hands and all of it. My garden, their garden. How much more productive it is. Yes, there's square foot gardening, and it has its place. But sometimes you want bigger size plants versus more food, if that makes sense. So some people want to get lots of peppers and they don't mind if they're small. Some people want to get lots, but they want bigger peppers. You have to decide what's going to work for you. So when we start to get a more balanced approach, what he likes, what I like, our garden is growing things that he never grew before. He didn't think he could grow those things over here. I go, yes, you can. Just got to adapt it to, find the right variety for our zone and adapt your style of gardening to give it what it needs. He wasn't growing okra. He wasn't growing all of these other things. Never heard of those things in his life. But now, oh, I want this. I want that. Give me a list of what he wants to grow so he can eat them. Every kind of lettuce, every kind of green. He likes the mustard greens, the bok choy, Swiss, all the different kinds of Swiss chard, all the the fruit trees, the figs. Oh my god, I gave the man a fig. That was it. So now we have to start multiplying our fig trees. Um, all the kind of stuff. Make your garden more automated. So I last week I told you guys I'm gonna go pick up that zapper that was on sale. I got it. When I went to go get the zapper, see how God work? I want to get the zapper. It's in my house now. So as soon as it's warm enough, I'm gonna set it up where I want in the lawn at the back, and I'll get another one. That is gonna help me be able to inspect my garden later in the night or even the early morning. I'm not gonna get eaten alive by mosquitoes. Secondly, I went to the store, Canadian Tire. It's kind of like Harbor Freightish, kind of, sort of, but not really. Maybe, kind of. So I went there, and Fifi had done a video, and I commented on, and she got back to me with like the mix that she uses for her chickens in the winter months. So she sent me this like she tagged the short, but I took a note of what she was mixing in with it. So I was usually buying my the worms, like the mealworms or like the whatever they call them. I think they're black soldier flies, one of the two, anyways. They're like freeze dried and crispy, like like dried onions that you put on salads, but you get them to your chickens and they're good for protein and you can mix them with the feed. I did not know Canadian Tire had the big bag of that for a better price. And they had the certain mix, not the same one that she has, but similar, where you have like the sunflower seeds, oats, the different seeds, and fruit and nut, the wild bird seed, right there in front of my face. So I'm gonna go back and get that probably this weekend, and then do a mix because I've tried everything, the normal stuff that people say to try. My chicken's eggs, especially the older girls, their shells are just not hard. So when I collected the eggs this week, I'm getting now 6, thank God, because now they're laying 6 eggs. I had them in a basket. I put the basket down a little too harsh, and the biggest egg, which is the older girls, kind of had a little crack. So I washed the egg and I fried it up same way because it's not open. So I washed the egg and I fried it up. Nice egg. But the eggs shells they're not hard. Like I shouldn't be worrying about breaking eggs. Good morning, Miss JK. And I shouldn't have. Anyways, I gave them oyster shells. I gave them the pigeon grit that helps with the grit and the calcium. Um, the layer feed is high protein and it should have enough calcium in it. I put vitamins in their water sometimes, not every time, because these girls now, I put the nipples in the water and now they just keep hitting it and just letting the water run like it's a game to them. So I went in today and the water was almost finished. I had to go fill up the water with the jugs early morning because I'm leaving early to leave out. They're just playing with it like a game. And all you see is these frozen ice of just water where they play with it and it comes one big solid block of ice. Not impressed. I give them that. So I don't know if anyone else has chickens can tell me how I can get them to have harder shells, because there's DE, there's oyster shells, I give them leafy greens. If somebody can tell me something, I don't know what else to do, because their eggs shouldn't be this soft. Nice big eggs. They give me the black secklings and the barred rocks. They have a healthy diet, is from what I know, but they're not. I give them corn. I give them the oats. I sprout them mung beans. I sprout them lentils. I give them cat food. I give them the pulp from the hemp seed. Like, they're getting all kind of they're fine. Can somebody tell me why they're not having hard shells, please? Because I'm sick of this. I'm tired. Could it be the age and nothing more I can do about it with the older ones? Because I bought a natural parasite cleanse. I'm going to give them that soon because Clover won't sleep in the proper spot and sleeps sitting down, and I have to go give her a bath again. I've bathed her like every year 2 or 3 times. What happened to me? Now I'm bathing chickens and blow drying them. Like, this is ridiculous. That meme that goes around saying, I was young and vibrant in this, and now I'm feeding chickens and planning. Like, There's a meme that's going around that talks about how much people change and turn into these farming people, but that's what happened to me. Um, I don't know. I gotta figure out how to get them to have harder shells. So somebody tell me or send me, a reel or a video. I don't know what else to do. I give them natural stuff also for anti-parasitic. I don't see any worms. I don't know. Is there some specific food item you give them for calcium besides oyster shells? Do I have to give them something else for calcium? I know people talk about lime, the garden lime. I need a miracle because they literally are so fragile. Usually, when you crack an egg on the edge of the counter, you have to really give it two good bangs, like a tap, and the egg is just falling apart. It doesn't make any sense, and I can't feed them back those shells because obviously they're not that rich in calcium. So that's my only struggle right now. But in terms of the garden, I'm gonna just lay all the manure in all the beds, side beds, all the containers are gonna be remixed. And I'm gonna tell you guys how early I start planting, but I know for sure spinach and lettuce and mustards can go out early. Even if it's still snowing, if you cover them with a cover, they'll be fine. Yeah, I have to wash chicken butts. I have I have no choice. It's either that or leave her like that looking disgusting. And then Biscuit has no feathers on her belly. I think she's trying to be a mother again, but I don't know why. She's just sickly. That chicken is. I was supposed to get rid of her last summer. I was supposed to put her in the freezer, but she got one more season. She's got to go. She don't look right. She don't look like she gonna make it. So it's better I just. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I'll wash the chicken, but I no, she looks disgusting. And you don't want them to get parasites. I add a little extra oyster shells to their winter. I don't know. Like I did that too, but I'm doing that. But some don't make no sense. They have shells all year. When I first got the chickens, I didn't have oyster shells. I bought them, and I kind of felt iffy about what I bought because it was like the end of the last bag, and the bag didn't smell too right. I'm gonna get another small bag of oyster shells because I think I have to trust my first instinct that that bag was contaminated. Because I know oyster shells smell funky, but I don't know if it was contaminated with mice. I like the pee on the shell because the store was closing down. It smelled like just rat pee. Yo, I'm not up potting. I'm not up potting. But remember, CC, I said time. How much time am I investing? Bathing a chicken will take me 20, 30 minutes. I have a container with a lid open and I put the water and soap and I just let them sit in it. 30 minutes of my time once or twice a year, maybe. Versus up potting. You said you up potted 3 times that week already. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. My philosophy now is let the plants do what they're going to do on their own. I'm just here to monitor. Like that manager that we all had that just didn't do much, didn't do much work. They took naps at work, but they got paid to be a manager, but they're really just an overseer. They didn't really do the work. You did all the work. That's what I'm doing now. The plants need to do the work. The soil has to do the work. I'll water. I'll put the fans on, but even now it's going to be automated, and I'm just monitoring. And if you're not pulling your weight, you got to go. I'll put on a fresh one. That's what I'm doing. The chicken is pulling her weight. She's laying eggs and she's giving me manure. So that's all I have to do to keep her healthy. I'll do that. The chickens have been honestly a bare minimum compared to what I thought it would be. People like, I watch Fifi, I watch David Corey. Who else did I learn from? Chickenlandia. Some people are very bougie with their chickens. I'm not. I watch. Who else did I watch? There's other people I watch. Keep it as automated as possible. All you got to do is just keep cleaning up the manure in the coop. In the run, you turn the soil. If it's too cold to turn, you just keep adding carbon on it to keep the smell down, the leaves and the straw, and you're good to go. The amount of time I put into my chickens is not that much. In the morning, I feed them because I don't leave feed out anymore, but I'm going to get an automatic feeder. And I have a 5 gallon bucket that I feed once a week. A bit more than that now because they're wasting the water. And that's it. I don't clean it every night. If it's cold, I let the droppings just freeze and just put some straw and leave them. I haven't had to put that much time. If you have a regular routine, and look at Fifi. Fifi left her house, gone to the island, and her chickens were fine. She had yeah, it wasn't that bad. The only thing that I was always worried about was the water in the wintertime. And now that I switched from the heated water to the heated 5 gallon bucket, it's much better. And I know Fifi has the drum, the IBC tote. That would be ideal, like a half IBC or something bigger than a 5 gallon that could stay heated that you can just water. Then I wouldn't have to be watering nothing, hardly nothing. What I realized this year in 2026 for sure, it's at first you don't want to spend too much money when you're doing chickens, and you shouldn't. You should not spend that much money because you got to build the house, you got to get a coop, you got to get a fence to run, you got to get all the supplies, the feed, the waterers, the feeding, all that costs money. So how I did it was low budget, but now that I'm here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to expand and make things automated so that I can walk away and leave for an overnight day or two. And if I go on an actual vacation, I can show somebody what needs to be done. I'll fill everything up before I go, make sure I do, all that stuff. And then while I'm gone, depending how long I'm gone for, they may have to do a few little things, but it won't be half as much as what I had to do when I was doing it without all this equipment. Um, those jokers were boosting on, yeah, on the PVC pipe. I think the fat turkey was roosting there. Okay, but do not try to. I don't know if I mentioned it. No, I didn't mention it yet. I didn't do a video yet. What I did, I use what's called, well, you can use either an aquarium heater, which those are fine. I didn't because I didn't know how much voltage and how much power and energy it was going to use, and that was more important because I don't want to have to pay a lot more for the hydro. I bought the 5 gallon bucket belt from my chick. What's it called? Hold on. I'll tell you because I have a picture of it. I have a picture of it here. Hold on. It's not the cheapest, but honestly, it worked well for me. And you just have to use the nipplers on the bucket. And I'm probably cold, if not colder than you, and I haven't had any problem. Only once I saw some ice on the top of the bucket, but that was it. Give me a second to find the picture of Rent-A-Coop. Rentacoop.com. They sell on their site and also on Amazon. And it's a heating belt that you wrap around the bucket. And then there's a fabric belt you put over that so they don't peck at it, and they, keeps it clean. And it keeps the bucket warm. I know you have power already at your thing. And you don't have to worry about if you're worrying about fires. Um that one's better. I just watch to set it and forget it. I don't want to be moving anything out the way when I have to refill. Yeah. I have to bring out the 1 gallon jugs from the house, and I just water refill the water. Before I was using the heated waterer, which you gotta turn upside down, take off of this, fill it up, get the bottom back on. And one time the bottom wasn't snapped on properly, I put it right side up and the whole of the water just spill and make a skating rink. Then I had to go find new water, go back to the house, I wasn't happy. And that water has a funnel at the bottom that you can use to keep the bottom on, but just funnel it. So I did that, and that takes some time. And then at one point, I cut my finger out there, but I didn't feel like I was so cold. Then I saw like red on the snow. I'm like, oh my God, I'm bleeding. But I was I had to put my hand in the snow to freeze it. Like, I've had just issues with this water. So I don't recommend it if you're in a truly cold zone. Yeah, but that heating belt is good so that you can fill your bucket from the top. So every week I put in about 3 gallons of water, and it's, yeah, rent a coop. Check it out, or something similar, or an aquarium heater. Because the heating lamp, I can't trust them with the heating lamp. My chickens are just so. My chicken yesterday, I think it was either Shay Shay or Spice. I think it's Shay Shay because she's rude. Hey, analytic. Shay Shay is rude. I went to go feed them the romaine lettuce that was going kind of funky in the fridge. I'm taking the bag, ready to, throw it in the dish, and she comes up and jumps in the air and bites my finger. Like that's some kind of dessert treat. And she does it all the time. So now I'm looking at her like, listen, girl, I like having you here, but you can go quite easily. And you're young enough that your meat will be tender. Don't play with me. She keeps coming up and biting my fingers. Like it's food. This is my hand. I need it. This is the hand that's literally feeding you, and you're biting me. No manners. Um, yeah. But the chickens are doing good. The garden is doing good. Well, that's not proper English, just doing well. The only issue I have is my eaves trough, which is leaking water in the wrong spots and making it very dangerous this morning to go to and from to get my stuff done for them. It was very dangerous. So I'm gonna have to get the ice pick from somebody and just make a safe walk path so that I don't have to be walking on ice, literally sliding on ice. And I fell last week. I forgot to tell you guys I fell last week. Maybe 2 weeks now. It was Valentine's weekend. I dropped on the floor on the driveway. I parked my car. I know there's a drip on the east trough, especially on the neighbor's side. I know there's icicles. I was walking in front of my car, and I thought that I was not on the ice, but I guess it was a black ice there too. And the neighbor's tenant had just gone inside, and I'm on the phone, speakerphone, talking to my dad, and then I'm carrying some, light bags, and all of a sudden, like it happened so fast, but yet so slow. I couldn't even react, but I didn't fight it like when I fell before the first time. I didn't fight it, so I just kind of slid down, and I was like on my bum, but I didn't bang. It just went, and I kind of fell and slid. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm on the ground. Like, huh? What? I'm on the ground. I just fell. I just slipped. Somehow, the neighbor's tenant, the guy, I don't know his name, he came. He's like, oh, you okay? He must have came back out to do something. He goes, you hit black ice. This is all black ice here. So he's gonna try to help me up, but I'm like, no, man. I didn't feel safe putting all my weight on his one arm. So I shimmy down to the brick, the wall between the two properties, and I kind of turned onto my knees and I got up. When I got up now, I'm holding onto the brick still. He's still there. I could feel my feet sliding down because now the driveway sloped. So I'm sliding towards the garage. I pick up my bags, and then I held his hands at that point now, and then he pulled me toward him off the black ice. And then I put my bags down onto the front steps, and I stopped for him. I'm like, Lord of mercy. Whew, I'm like, I need a minute. And even when I was getting up, I'm like, hold on, I need a minute. I know you're trying to help me up, but I need a minute. I need like 10 seconds before to get my bearings. And then I put some salt down. Literally, it's like, oh! But but thank God I didn't hurt myself. I didn't bang, like, you're trying to stop yourself and you maybe put too much force on your wrists, or didn't bang. I kind of banged my knee a bit, but this is the same knee that I had already banged before. But no injuries. I didn't feel any soreness. I didn't, pull any muscles. I didn't bruise. There was no bruises. Nothing broke. Thank God, nothing. But man, and the funny thing is, this is the same guy that I had to address. I didn't tell him off, but I was a little firm with him because that neighbor, every time she gets tenants, they always like to park and just block me in. And I had to get up one morning at, I think it was, he leaves for work about 5:30. And my cameras gave me an alert, and I happened to be up, and I'm going to the washroom. And I saw that they were blocking me in. I got up at the 5:30 in my pajamas with a coat on and a bonnet and said, "Yo, my guy, I don't want to have no problems with people, but I will be a problem if he made it clear." And I sent the lady next door. She's gone for the winter. I sent her the what I said. I sent her the picture. I said, "Don't make me have to talk about this again." So she called and addressed them. Don't block me in under any circumstances. You should never feel comfortable blocking in somebody you don't know. Suppose they get an emergency phone call in the night. Yeah, with my bonnet. Yeah, I was pissed. I was pissed. But I kind of toned it down and spoke at least civilized, not you know, because he was the one who helped me off of the ice. But he knew he was wrong. He Yeah, and he blocked in my tenant as well too. And she leaves at about 5:30. And I don't care if you leave at 5:30. You know she's at 5:30. Don't assume because her father's in a nursing home as well. Don't assume that people don't have to get up in the night to go and leave. And now your car's in their way. They don't have your number. They don't know your name. They have to be knocking on your door to wake you up to get you to move. And it's a whole thing that makes me even more pissed off because now you're causing me more delays to get to where I need to get to in an emergency. I would have just take my car and lick off him car and gone and just reverse and lick off him car. And you couldn't make me pay for it neither. But we've come to a understanding. Stay in your lane and I stay in my lane. I'm always in my lane. I never go over onto their side under any circumstances. But the man come and help me. Me slide down the black ice. Thank God I wasn't hurt though. In all seriousness, I wasn't hurt because those are the things that people are afraid of. Like I already, I slipped in this morning too, but I learned how to maneuver on the ice, but it's not no joke. So when I go back home tonight and even tomorrow, I'm going to get the ice pick and pick off that ice because walking to the chicken coop is literally now a sheet of ice. Walking another route, a sheet of ice. Walking to the food to get the food for them, there's an ice patch right there too. That if you're not careful, and if you fall down and don't have your cell phone with you, so hopefully my sisters would see because they're on my camera, security camera, they would get an alert to see me lying on the ground there in the snow. Not no joke. What else happened? That needs to tell you about. There's some things that happened, but we're not gonna talk about that. That's more heavy topic. We'll keep it light. But there's some other stuff. Yeah. I'm watching some gardening content in terms of food sovereignty, food rights, and stuff like that. Food deserts, some other things that have come up that I've watched this week. So we'll talk about that next time. I'm going to wrap it up, but just keep growing your food. I know it's difficult, and I know I had to take a break, especially indoor gardening is difficult. Indoor growing is difficult. Keeping your house in order sometimes is difficult because right now I'm revamping, reorganizing, and stuff. Good morning, Broke Farmer. Can be difficult. Balancing your time is a challenge, especially when you're trying to take on other tasks. Like I'm trying to revamp learning the piano again, and just you have other interests just besides gardening. And I know we act like all we do is garden. We don't. We do other things. We have other interests, and it can be very difficult to balance it all. And sometimes the gardening, especially indoor, takes a back seat. It's okay. It's not a skill you can really lose, but just when you get back the time and the energy, go back into it. It's actually healthy to take a break because you can come back more determined and just with a new mindset. Um, they'll take it and tow you. They will take it and tow you if you block your own driveway. Yeah, they do that here too. People have too many vehicles. Like they have 3 and 4 vehicles in one household now. Back in the day, it was the homes were made for like 2 vehicles, maybe a third in the garage. But these people have 3 to 5 vehicles per house, and they're now parking on the lawns as a parking spot, which is also not allowed in the zoning. But they've gotten away with it for so long that now that they're getting tickets, they don't like it. But yeah, The other tenant that was there before, he was only there for 6 months. I had to tell him off too, and he wouldn't answer the door. So he left. I had to leave a nasty note on his car. He wouldn't answer the door. So since I was irritated, I'm going to church to praise the Lord. Go figure. I'm gonna go praise the Lord, and I'm banging down someone's door. He wouldn't answer the door. So I said, since I can't sleep, you're not gonna sleep either. So I banged the door. I banged the front window, the side window, the back window again, the side window, and the front door, and I banged the door. You and your wife are not getting no sleep. Because if you're not gonna answer the door and talk to me to my face, you're gonna get disturbed. So I'm gonna disturb the whole blam 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 blam. I wake up my tenant with blam 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 blam, all the windows and doors, blam blam blam, like police knocking, police knocking, banging, pam pam pam. If you're not gonna answer the door, you're not gonna sleep in. Remember, I told you that. I bang down the place. I leave him a nasty note on him car. I called to get him towed, but I couldn't get it towed because it's a Sunday, and the number, the people are not open at the same time as usual. His car would have been gone. His car would have been gone. He had a very nasty attitude. Even the other guy at the back who recommended him would knock on the door. He wouldn't answer the door. He would act like he didn't hear you knocking. He would not answer his phone, and you're right outside the door. The guy's calling him to ask him to move his car. He tells the guy something to the effect of like, it's not, I don't have to get up now. I don't have to get up. But if you share a driveway with other people and you know that they have to leave at a certain time, it's either you park in first so that they can be at the end so they can leave, or you have to move your car. Like, that's how it works. It's not like only your schedule. He was so difficult. I told the man of the house, I don't know why he didn't, the husband of the house, the man of the house, the lady and the man who owned the house, she was dealing with all this, and the attitude that the man was giving her was difficult, because even to move his car for her to get out to go to church on Sunday was pure attitude. And the guy wasn't doing nothing about it. So finally, I told the husband, because we were all outside doing something. Me, my sister, she came over to do something, and then he and I were all talking. And he's like, he didn't know. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't know? You don't know that man is giving your wife a hard time? So I guess she can't tell him. Some husbands are hard to deal with, especially Jamaican husbands. My God. You don't know the culture, it's very difficult. So he didn't know. I said, listen, I just tell him straight up, because I'm not here. I said, listen, sir, any man that's giving your wife a hard time in her own, like, this is your house, you live here, is a reflection of you, because it seems like you are allowing the disrespect to keep going, because she has to keep like speaking to the man several times, and he's not having any respect. So since he doesn't respect your wife, he don't respect you, and you need to do something about the disrespect. He's like, I didn't know. I said, the man shouldn't be parking on your driveway. If it was me, the man would lose his parking privileges, point blank. And the husband agreed. He was pissed off. He didn't realize the man was so rude. So the man talked to him and said, going forward, you're not parking on the driveway. You're parking on the road. Because if you're not going to have respect, you're not going to get this privilege. It's a privilege to park here. I was like, all right, good. And then the man had given his notice that he's moving out anyways. He was a very nasty, bad tenant, very disrespectful and rude. So the new guy, I thought was going to be good. He is good, but same bad parking behavior, blocking me in and my tenant in. So that didn't last too long, because I'm fed up with the behavior. So I just told him off right away. Anyways, guys, have a great week. Drop your seeds. Number 1, select seeds that you're going to drop that don't require to be repotted 3 times. Like, you want to use your time effectively and efficiently. It may be better to do succession planting. So plant your full tray, and then 2 weeks later plant another tray, or 3 weeks, whatever, however you can time it, so that you're transplanting them to their final home outside. Outside does not mean that they're not covered and they're not, have some protection, so that they can get acclimatized to the environment. You use wisdom, but transplant them out and then start another batch, so that your time is being used effectively. And part of managing our time, as I always, and I will keep saying it till I leave this earth, use nature to your advantage. Let nature do some of the work for you. Yes, I have lighting. Yes, I have fans. But as soon as they're able to go outside, let nature do the work for you and you just manage it. And that is also for those in the warmer zones, use that to your advantage. You don't have to do so much heavy seed starting indoors. Start indoors or start outdoors in a tray or in a greenhouse. That's even better because it's not in your house. And let the sun and let some of nature do the work for you. If you're not applying that mindset, you're going to be spending too much resources, energy, and time doing it for nature. And it's always going to be easier if you let nature work for you and with you. Have a blessed week. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'll see you in these YouTube streets. I don't have any announcements. I forgot again, but make sure you check out Wind Down Wednesdays. And then Miss Shirley OG on Thursdays. Tampa's Creek is pretty much every Monday to Friday. Big Roosters on Fridays most days, but not all the time. So check out Big Rooster. Check out Gina versus Gina on a Friday and sometimes on a Sunday. Broke Farmers on Sundays, but I think it's members only. But check out Broke Farmer. Check out Life with Tasharia, or aka Frugal Mama, which is 7 a.m. most mornings to work out and exercise. Can't Stop Walking But Loves Mowing is 6 a.m. Eastern Time most days, driving in his truck. And GT Jr., you got to pop in when he pops up. I don't know who else to mention that I watch regularly. I watch the smaller channels, to be honest. I like the smaller channels, the small room setting. I find that more enjoyable, but check them out. Support those who are selling seeds in our community. Homestead Heart, Dan's Food Forest Permaculture, and who have businesses. Mrs. Renaissance Grandma has the soaps and the creams, and other people who sell stuff. Just support the community, all right? And don't forget to thumbs up the video, like and share. It helps the channel. All right, take care.